Hey, what's up guys, I'm Styler, and in this video I'm going to review the beautiful Huawei Honor 9 in blue, the successor to Huawei's praised Honor 8 from last year. So without any further ado, let's start the video. The Honor 9 comes with a 5.15-inch LTPS Full HD IPS display, dual rear camera on 20 plus 12 megapixel, 4GB RAM and 64GB internal storage, dual SIM, support for a micro SD card, a 3200 mAh built-in battery, and is powered by the Kirin 960 octa-core chipset. So this phone is a flagship and not exactly the cheapest budget device out. The original retail price was close to $500, but currently you can get it now for only $390, which is really fair as you get high-end hardware, an amazing dual camera setup, good battery life and a super nice sleek design. Both the front and back is featuring Corning Gorilla Glass 3 with native damage resistant technology, so it's very scratch resistant. Compared to its predecessor, the Honor 9 now got 3D curved glass on the back and therefore much easier to grip and hold in the hand. And personally I'm a big fan of this because the phone that way feels much slimmer in the hand, and something that I'm also used to from my OnePlus 5 and the new Samsung devices which have the same. The 3D curved back is extremely beautiful, shiny and reflective with a premium look, but also a real fingerprint magnet. I like the blue color and the way that it changes in the light, a real eye catcher. In the top we find a dual camera setup which consists of a 20 megapixel monochrome plus a 12 megapixel color sensor with f2.2 aperture. And beside it a dual tone LED flash, all parts integrated nicely into the phone, so there is no camera lens bumping out of the back. The whole frame is made of metal, and in the top we find a noise cancelling microphone and an IR blaster. In the bottom there is a good microphone and a loud and clear single speaker, USB 2.0 Type-C port with OTG support and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right we find some solid and responsive buttons for the volume and power. And to the left a hybrid dual nano SIM tray made in plastic that also has support for a micro SD card. In the top we find a 8 megapixel front selfie camera, light and proximity sensor, the ear speaker and next to it a notification LED. The LTPS IPS display is on 5.15 inch with Full HD, a good 10-point multi-touch panel, and provides a sharp and clear picture with nice viewing angles, colors and brightness. The phone weighs 156 grams and is 7.4mm thin, so that's just perfect. Nice to see is that the Honor 9 doesn't use on-screen buttons, but instead features real capacitive touch buttons just next to the home button, which is also a fingerprint scanner. The 360-degree fingerprint scanner is top and works 9 out of 10 times for me. And the speed is maybe not the fastest seen, but still very good for daily use. So here you see the launcher, which is called Emotion UI. It's very colorful, and if you don't like the look, it also supports custom themes. So scrolling is smooth and fast, and also to the left you find the so-called high board with various info and news. There are also some few settings so it can be customized. Swipe up to activate a search, and hold and press to see options for wallpapers, widgets, transitions, and the launcher settings. And a special horizontal mode can also be activated, so that's pretty cool and useful if you want to use it in horizontal mode for map navigation or movies in the car. Let's slide down from the top, and here you see the quick toggles, and on this phone both the lowest and also the highest brightness is good. Out of the box, this phone does come with some pre-installed Huawei apps, but unfortunately no Google apps. The Google apps and Play Store that you see here are some that I have installed myself, which luckily was very easy. Regarding the Huawei apps, these can just be uninstalled, so that's no problem. Knock 2 times on the glass and it will take a screenshot, and this is in fact a feature that can be used on most Huawei and Honor phones. Now let's take a closer look at the phone settings. In About, we see it is Emotion UI 5.1 based on Android 7. In Home Style, you can activate or deactivate the app drawer. And in Display, you can tweak the color temperature or enable something called Eye Comfort, which removes the blue light and protects the eyes. And last, in Navigation key, you can switch the menu and back key, or just use the home button, where one touch then works as back, and hold will return to the home, and swipe over the home button will open the recent apps overview. So let me just try it here. One tap to go back, a hold to return to home, or swipe to open the recent apps overview, and just one more time. The 3D gaming performance is pretty good. Games like Asphalt 8 run smooth and fast, and I really enjoyed the gaming experience on this phone. And yes, the phone can get hot after some time with 3D gaming, but that's pretty normal on most newer phones and not really a problem because everything still runs fast and stable, while with normal apps and surfing it stays normal and cool. The camera app has many advanced features. There is a manual mode for most stuff, and you can enable a special wide aperture which also supports 2x lossless hardware zooming, and via a slider you can then set the aperture level. Besides that, it has portrait and a mode for moving objects, and the 8 megapixel front facing camera can be used to shoot some good selfies. The details and sharpness is nice, and it is also possible to add a bokeh effect and beauty level. In the settings we find tons of modes and effects, and in here you can also see the different resolutions, where up to 20 megapixel is possible. And beside that we also find an object tracking mode. Pictures taken in low light or even at night is, I would say, on the good side. It does manage to capture the surrounding light and keep the picture pretty detailed without too much noise. The monochrome sensor is also extremely good, and here you see the detail in the picture. One funny effect is the 3D mode, where you can capture a lot of pictures while you move the camera. Here an example, and it can even be controlled with the phone, depending on how you move it. And here also an example in horizontal mode. Pictures taken with the wide aperture mode can also afterwards be changed. You can then change the point of focus and also adjust the amount of blur, and I must say that it works pretty good. And now let me show you some various camera samples. The bottom speaker provides loud and clear sound. While I have tested the phone, I have been okay satisfied with the overall quality, but here a sound test. Next, let me also check if it has support for USB on the go. And yes, it seems to have found the USB drive. Here we see the content. And let's test one picture. With this phone you can also watch 360 VR videos on, for example, YouTube or with Google Cardboard. It has a good and fast working built-in gyroscope sensor. Inside CPU set you see the info about the hardware and the SoC, and in the last tab also the built-in sensors. So both gyroscope and compass works great on this phone. The Honor 9 uses a non-removable 3200 mAh battery and has support for fast charging where 40% in 30 minutes or 100% in 100 minutes is possible. The battery life is good on the Honor 9. With normal usage it was no problem getting through the whole day, but if you tend to use the phone heavy for gaming, movies and music, it may run low on power before the evening. But overall I was satisfied with the battery and the screen on time was on about 7 hours. The GPS is extremely fast to get a lock and fix on the satellites. It is rare that I see something that fast, and the reception on the signals is also pretty good. It has a working fast compass and support for cloners, and the accuracy is down to about 4 meters, which is very normal for a GPS in a smartphone. So now it's time for my final verdict. The Honor 9 is a compact and very solid high-end smartphone with a very good dual camera setup. The build quality and finish is top, and the design is beautiful with a rounded back and very resistant Gorilla Glass on both the front and back. The performance is maybe not among the best anymore, but still more than enough for smooth gaming, surfing and daily use. Personally, I really like the phone, and even after this test I will keep on using it as my daily driver for some time. Because for me it is very close to perfect. It has all the features that I need, a perfect size, and I'm a big fan of having the fingerprint sensor on the front. Combined with the good display and good sound, it is definitely a phone that I can recommend to buy if you want something high-end for a good price and you're tired of cheap budget devices with low quality. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one.